Good morning, church family. I'm here in Malawi. We've had an incredible week. It's been both encouraging and sobering as we've had 3 days of conferences, about 450 people, as well as today seeing the villages, seeing some of the work that's been done between Fresh Ministries and North Sea and Crestview Baptist Church. And I'm actually joined here with my friend, Pastor John Gerlach of Crestview Baptist Church. Good morning, or good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon.
Whatever it is here. It's been great to have you with us. Thank you so much for coming on this trip.
Oh, it's been great. It's been a blessing and a great honor to be part of everything that's gone on. It's been amazing.
It's been a joy to serve together. I've been thankful to have you there as we've done the conference. We had about 450 people. About 2/3 came to our spiritual leadership conference.
Right.
And about 1/3 were with your wife, Alta Lynn, who's going to be our speaker at next year's women's retreat, and with my wife, Scotty. What's kind of your impression of the impact that those conferences have had?
You know, I think it's been great because the conferences were all videoed, and that was kind of one of the things we really made sure was in place. And this is going to be an opportunity for all the training, and the pastors are very excited about this, where they're going to have those resources and then can pass those resources on to other pastors and kind of continue the teaching and just the potential of all that material that we shared with them, which was just really basic discipleship, but they were so grateful and so hungry for that.
Yeah, and one of the things that hit me was Bishop Capito, who we're working with here, said that some of the pastors don't even have Bibles.
Right.
And so many of them are very hungry for training, for teaching. Some came up and said this was like going to university,
Right.
Which they have not done. I mean, 95% have no training really at all. And so this is a big deal for them.
Yeah.
Now, there was also the women's conference. And by the way, this is the first time in history, as far as Bishop Capito knows, that there's ever been any kind of a women's conference here. That's just not something they've done. I mean,
Right.
what was your impression of the reception of that?
You know, it was amazing because I know when we first brought it up and talked about my wife Alta Lynn leading that, it was a little bit of not necessarily anything negative, but just more, what is that and what's that? What would that be for? You know, it's kind of that kind of reaction. But it has been groundbreaking, and so much. Bishop Capito's feedback was there were so many lives touched, so many women were able to express and just really get to know each other, fellowship, collaborate, support each other. There were just some amazing things that I think were accomplished. And so Alta Lynn and Scotty did a great job. And, you know, the feedback has been just really off the charts.
Well, and hearing how there was a time where they took prayer requests from each of the women. And some of the prayer requests are really quite heartbreaking.
They are.
There's issues with family members that are caught up in witchcraft. One woman, her own daughter is trying to murder her right now. There's women talking about how they've been married multiple times, but the men keep leaving, and that the men are, it reminded me of the woman at the well, married 5
Right,
times,
yeah.
and but not at their fault. They say the men won't stay. And it's very heartbreaking, but I don't think anybody's ever taken the time, at least from the outside, to take prayer requests and pray for them. And I know there's going to be a women's ministry at Crestview who's going to be praying for these women, and that's just a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Now today we've been visiting different villages. We have seen some of the boreholes right behind us. This is one of the wells, that actually funding came from Crestview.
Right.
Earlier we visited one of the wells that funding came from North Sea and Fresh Ministries a couple of years ago. We've seen some of the chicken coops. We've seen some of the farmland. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was great. That
Walking
was
through,
amazing.
yeah. Seeing all the maize growing. And,
yeah.
and then we've also seen some of the families that still are kind of living in a camp type setting,
Right.
following Cyclone Freddy. What's been your impression of seeing all this for the first time?
You know, it's just amazing just to see it in action, because truly, you know, Bishop Capito keeps saying this, that it's not just we've been given something, but he talks about fish and fishing. He says it's not like we're just giving a bunch of fish to them, but they are really become fishermen and fisherwomen in this process, as they have gone on and just used the chicken coop to provide protein for the children, to have some income from the maize and other crops and other things that they have done that has just been reproducible and sustainable, and gives them an opportunity to financially, economically be impacted, as well as to impact the whole village.
Well, and we've seen the churches grow. I mean,
churches have been that's out of all kind of growth.
Right. I mean, not this village, but the last village we were in, they had like 35 members when we were here in 2017. And now they have 400 adults, 200 kids, and part of that is they're not journeying so far for water, but also just the ministry has been, I guess, aided by the fact that we're able to do something physical as we bring the gospel.
Well, you know, one thing that I noticed at the last water well we looked at, it never stopped. I mean, it was just constantly in use by different people who were just right there. And you know, actually, I said to Athlin, I said, it's amazing when you think that people could play in water instead of walking 5 hours for water. And so it just has changed everything. And you had mentioned how it's changed families. It's changed so many things. And you really don't realize it until you see it.
Well, they did a drama presentation for us at the last village. And talk about dramatic. They actually acted out a husband beating his wife because he was wondering why she was going out so early and didn't trust her to go get water. And now they said with the water well being right in the village, it's actually lowered domestic violence. It has kept marriages together. I mean, it's things that I would have never thought of as being part of the impact. But there's a lot more needs here, and we've seen that. One of the preschools, the roof was blown off in Cyclone Freddy, and they're asking if we could help them get another metal sheeting roof. The structure needs a little work, but it's mostly a roof that's needed. There's also other communities in need. One thing they brought up today that was very interesting to me was that chicken feed has gone up 2 or 3 times. I mean, inflation around the world has been difficult. I know it's like that in Texas, Norway we've seen it. It's here in Malawi as well. And so if they could have a mill, which would cost, I think, about $10,000, they would actually be able to produce their own chicken feed as well as flour for sale. And that would not only be a sustainable business, it would actually lower the cost of the 14 chicken coops we have, sustaining those. So these are things we're considering. So thank you so much for your generosity over the years, all who have given to the work in Malawi. And I also ask you to consider giving, especially as we're coming to Christmas now. Think about how you can give to missions at North Sea so that we can fund projects like this that make a real difference both eternally and in the here and now. So thank you. God bless you. Have a great Sunday. Thank you, John.